हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम राम
Hare Krishna, everybody. You ready now?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Patim Paramadharmagyam Vaidarbhi Malayadvajam
भीमलया ध्वजम्
Hemna Paryacharadhitva
प्रेम्णा पर्याचर्यान्वित्वा
Yogan Sapati Devata
भोगासापति देवता
Patim Paramadharmagyam
पतिं परमधर्मज्ञम्
Vaidarbhi Malayadvajam
भीमलया ध्वजम्
Hemna Paryacharadhitva
प्रेम्णा पर्याचर्यद्धित्वा
Yogan Sapati Devata
भोगासापति देवता
Patim Paramadharmagyam
पतिं परमधर्मज्ञम्
Vaidarbhi Malayadvajam
भीमलया ध्वजम्
Hemna Paryacharadhitva
प्रेम्णा पर्याचर्यद्धित्वा
Yogan Sapati Devata
भोगासापति देवता
पतिं परमधर्मज्ञं वैदर्भीमनध्वजम् प्रेम्णा परचरन्वित्वा योगानसापति देवता पतिं परं धर्मज्ञं प्रेम्णा परचरन्वित्वा योगानसापति देवता पतिं परं धर्मज्ञं वैदर्भीमनयध्वजम् प्रेम्णा परचरन्वित्वा योगानसापति देवता।
Online, anybody wants to chant?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु
हरे
जी।
कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम। कंटिन्यू माता जी।
ओके माता जी। पतिं परम धर्मज्ञां वैदर्भीमलयध्वजं प्रेम्णा पर्याचरद्धित्वा भोगान् सापति देवता। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। पतिं परम धर्मज्ञ वैदर्भीमलया ध्वजं प्रेम्णा परिचर द्वित्वा भोगान सपति देवता। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण
हरे
प्रभु
कृष्ण
जी।
प्रभु जी प्रणाम। पतिं परमधर्मज्ञं वैदर्भीमलयध्वजं प्रेम्णा पर्याचरद्धित्वा भोगान् सापति देवता। हरे कृष्ण
हरे
प्रभु जी।
कृष्ण प्रभु जी। पतिं परम धर्मज्ञं वैदर्भीमलयध्वजं प्रेम्णा पर्यचरद्वित्वा भोगान् सापति देवता। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। पतिं परम धर्मज्ञ वेदर्भी मलय ध्वजं प्रेम्णा पर्यचरत् पीत्वा भोगान् सापति देवता।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। परमः पतिं परमः धर्मज्ञ वैदर्भीमलयध्वजं प्रेम्णः पर्यचरत् ध्येत्वा भोगान् सपति देवतः। थैंक यू प्रभु जी।
हरे कृष्ण। पतिं परमधर्म पतिं परमधर्मज्ञं वैदर्भीमलयध्वजं प्रेम्णा पर्यचरद्धित्वा भोगान् सापति देवता। हरे कृष्ण।
Okay, chalo. Let us continue. Patim, her husband. Parama, supreme. Dharma, gyam, knower of religious principles. Vedarvi, the daughter of Vedarva. Malaya Dhvajam, name Malaya Dhvaja. Premna, with love and affection. Varyacharat, served in devotion. Hetva, giving up. Bhogan, sense enjoyment. Sa, she. Pati Devata, accepting her husband as the Supreme Lord. The daughter of King Vidarbha accepted her husband all in all as the Supreme. She gave up all sensual enjoyment and in complete renunciation followed the principles of her husband who was so advanced. Thus she remained engaged in his service. The daughter of King Vidarbha
The daughter of King Vidarbha
accepted her husband
accepted her husband
all in all
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 in
in
all
all,
as the
as the
She
supreme.
gave up
Supreme,
all sensual enjoyment
She
she
gave
Gave
up
up
gave
all
all
up
sensual
all
sensual
enjoyment
sensual
enjoyment
enjoyment
renunciation,
and
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 in
in complete
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 renunciation
renunciation
renunciation.
followed the principles of her husband
followed
Followed
the
followed
the
the
principles
principles of
of
principles
her
her
of her
husband
husband
husband,
who was so advanced.
who
who
was
who was
so
so
was so
advanced.
advanced
That she
advanced
remained engaged
that
that
Thus she
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 remained
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 engaged
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 in his service.
in
in
his
in
his
his
service.
service.
service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. Figuratively, King Malayadhwaja is a spiritual master and his wife Vaidarbhi is the disciple. The disciple accepts the spiritual master as the supreme personality of Godhead, as stated by Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura in Guru Vashtaka, Sakshat Dharitvena. One directly accepts the Guru, the spiritual master, as the supreme personality of Godhead. One should accept the spiritual master not in the sense that the Mayavadi philosophers do, but in the way recommended here. Since the spiritual master is a most confidential servant of the Lord, he should be treated exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The spiritual master should never be neglected or disobeyed like an ordinary person. If a woman is fortunate enough to be the wife of a pure devotee, she can serve her husband without any desire for sense gratification. If she remains engaged in the service of the exalted husband, she will automatically attain the spiritual perfections of her husband. If a disciple gets a bona fide spiritual master, simply by satisfying him, he can attain a spiritual similar opportunity to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Chiravasa vrataksham
Srinivasa Pratakshama
Vini
Pratakshama
Bhuta Shiroruha
Veni Bhuto
Venibhuta
Shiroruha
Shiroruha
Bhava Upapatim Shanta
Bhavapapatim
Bhavavupati
Shanta
Santam
Ka Shantam Ivanalam.
Sikha
Sikha Shantam
Santam
Nivaranam.
Ivalanam.
Daughter of the king Vidarbha wore old garment and she was lean and thin because her woes of austerity. Since she did not arrange her hair, it became entangled and twisted in locks. Although she remembered always near her husband, she was as silent as unagitated as the flame of the undisturbed fire.
Purport. When one begins to burn firewood, there is a smoke and agitation in the beginning. Although there are so many disturbances in the beginning, once the fire is completely set, the firewood burns steadily. Similarly, when both husband and wife follow the regulative principles of austerity, they remain silent and are not agitated by sex impulses. At such a time, both husband and wife are benefited spiritually. One can attain this stage of life by completely giving up a luxurious mode of life. In this verse, the word chiravasa refers to very old torn garments. The wives especially should remain austere, not desiring luxurious dresses and living standards, should accept only the bare necessities of life and minimize her eating and sleeping. There should be no question of mating. Simply by engaging in the service of her exalted husband, who must be a pure devotee, the wife will never be agitated by sex impulses. The Vanaprastha stage is exactly like this. Although the wife remains with the husband, she undergoes severe austerities and penances so that although both husband and wife live together, there is no question of sex. In this way, both husband and wife can live together perpetually. Since the wife is weaker than the husband, this weakness is expressed in this verse with the words upapatim. Upa means near to or almost equal to. Being a man, the husband is generally more advanced than his wife. Nonetheless, the wife is expected to give up some all luxurious habits. She should not even dress nicely or comb her hair. Hair combing is one of the main businesses of women. In the Vanaprastha stage, the wife should not take care of her hair. Thus, her hair will become tangled in knots. Consequently, the wife will no longer be attractive to the husband. She herself will no longer be agitated by sex impulses. In this way, both husband and wife can advance in spiritual consciousness. This advanced stage is called the Paramahamsa stage, and once it is obtained, both husband and wife can be actually liberated from bodily consciousness. If the disciple remains steady in the service of the spiritual master, he need no longer fear falling down into the clutches of Maya. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Ajanati priyatamam
अजानति प्रियातमं
प्रियातमं
yado paratamangana
यदोपरतम्
यदोपरतमङ्गना
अञ्जना
Shirasanam asadya
सुशीलासनमासाद्य
सुशीलासनमासाद्य
Apuram upachara.
यथा
यथा
पूर्वमुपाचर
पुरमुपचर.
The daughter of King Vidarbha continued as usual to serve her husband, who was seated in a steady posture until she could ascertain that he had passed away from the body.
Purport. It appears that the queen did not even talk to her husband while serving. She would simply perform her prescribed duties without talk. Thus, she did not stop rendering service until she could ascertain that her husband had passed from the body.
Yada nopalabhetangra
यदा
उपलभेतान्दा
नोपलभेताङ्गां
Pranam pratyu archati
ईशानपत्यर्चति
Ati samvegna hridaya
अतिसंविघ्ना हृदया
Amrigi yatha.
यूथभ्रष्टामुखे यथा.
While she was serving her husband by massaging his legs, she could feel that his feet were no longer warm, could understand that he had already passed away from the body, and she felt great anxiety upon being left alone. Bereft of her husband's company, she felt exactly as the deer feels upon being separated from the mate.
Purport. As soon as the circulation of blood and air within the body stops, it is to be understood that the soul within the body has left. The stoppage of the blood circulation is perceived when the hands and feet lose heat. One tests whether a body is alive or not by feeling the heart's palpitations and the coldness of the feet and hands.
Atmanam shochati dinham
आत्मानं शोचति दीनं
abandum viklava shubhihi
Avadhumbitavashvi
कानावाशे च विपिने
Kanase Chavipine
प्ररुरोधसा.
Param Pararodasa.
Being now alone and widow in the forest, the daughter of Vidarbha began to lament, incessantly shedding tears, which soaked her breast and crying very loudly.
Purport. Figuratively, the queen is supposed to be the disciple of the king. Thus, when the mortal body of the spiritual master expires, his disciple should cry exactly as the queen cries when the king leaves his body. However, the disciple and spiritual master are never separated because the spiritual master always keeps company with the disciple as long as the disciple follows strictly the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called the association of Vani, words. Physical presence is called Vapuhu. As long as the spiritual master is physically present, the disciple should serve the physical body of the spiritual master, and when the spiritual master is no longer physically existing, the disciple should serve the instructions of the spiritual master.
Uttishta Uttishta Rajashe
Rajarshi
Mamudadhi Mekhalam
Mamuda Idamekalam
Ya Shatrabandhubhyo
Vyasa
Bandhubhyo
Vashatrabandhubhyo
Patumarahasi.
Divyatim Atmarhasi.
O best of the king, please get up, get up. Just see this world surrounded by water and infested with rogues and so-called king. This world is very much afraid and it is your duty to protect her.
Purport. Whenever an Acharya comes, following the superior orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his representative, he establishes the principles of religion as enunciated in Bhagavad Gita. Religion means abiding by the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Religious principles begin from the time one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is the Acharya's duty to spread a bona fide religious system and induce everyone to bow down before the Supreme Lord. One executes the religious principles by rendering devotional service, specifically the 9 items like hearing, chanting, and remembering. Unfortunately, when the Acharya disappears, rogues and non-devotees take advantage and immediately begin to introduce unauthorized principles in the name of so-called swamis, yogis, philanthropists, welfare workers, and so on. Actually, human life is meant for executing the orders of the Supreme Lord, and this is stated in Bhagavad Gita 9.34. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishyasi yuktaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Engage your mind, always thinking in me, and become my devotee. Offer obeisances and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. The main business of human society is to think of the Supreme Personality of Godhead at all times, to become his devotees, to worship the Supreme Lord, and to bow down before him. The Acharya, the authorized representative of the Supreme Lord, establishes these principles, but when he disappears, things once again becomes disordered. The perfect disciples of the Acharya try to relieve the situation by sincerely following the instructions of the spiritual master. At the present moment, practically the entire world is afraid of rogues and non-devotees. Therefore, this Krishna conscious movement is started to save the world from irreligious principles. Everyone should cooperate with this movement in order to bring about actual peace and happiness in the world.
Evam Prapanti Balha
एवं विल्पन्ति बाला
Pine Anugata Patim
विनेनुगता पतिम्
Sita Padayor Bharta
पतितापादयोर्भर्तु
Bodh Vrudanti Ashuni Avartaya.
रुदत्य शून्यवर्तयत्.
A most obedient wife thus fell down at the feet of the dead husband and began to cry pitifully in the solitary place. Thus the tears rolled down from her eyes.
Purport. Just as a devoted wife becomes afflicted at the passing away of a husband, when a spiritual master passes away, the disciple becomes similarly bereaved. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Chitim Chetva
जितेन्द्रियमयं चित्वा
Chitim Darumayim Chetva
जितेन्द्रियमयं चित्वा
Tasyam Pratyukalevaram
तस्यां पत्युकलेवरम्
Adipya Chanumarane
आदित्याचारुमरणे
आदित्याचारुमन्ने
Vilapanti Manodadhe.
चापन्ति
विलापन्ति
मनोदधे
मनोदधे.
Thus she prepared a blazing fire with firewood and placed a dead body of her husband upon it. When this was finished, she lamented severely and prepared herself to perish in the fire with her husband.
Purport. It is the long-standing tradition of the Vedic system that a faithful wife dies along with her husband. This is called Sahamarana. In India, this system was prevalent even to the date of British occupation. At that time, however, a wife who did not wish to die with her husband was sometimes forced to do so by her relatives. Formerly, that was not the case. The wife used to enter the fire voluntarily. The British government stopped this practice, considering it inhuman. However, from the early history of India, we find that when Maharaja Pandu died, he was survived by two wives, Madri and Kunti. The question was therefore, both should die or one should die. After the death of Maharaja Pandu, his wife settled that one should remain and the other should go. Madri would perish with her husband in the fire, and Kunti would remain to take charge of the 5 Pandava children. Even as late as 1936, we saw a devoted wife voluntarily enter the fire of her husband. This indicates that a devotee's wife must be prepared to act in such a way. Similarly, a devoted disciple of the spiritual master would rather die with the spiritual master than fail to execute the spiritual master's mission. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down upon this earth to re-establish the principles of religion, so his representative, the spiritual master, also comes to re-establish the religious principles. It is the duty of the disciples to take charge of the mission of the spiritual master and execute it properly. Otherwise, the disciple should decide to die along with the spiritual master. In other words, to execute the will of the spiritual master, the disciple should be prepared to lay down his life and abandon all personal considerations. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Chitim Darumayim Chetva
चितिं चित्वा
Tasyam Pratyukalevaram
तस्यां
तस्यां पत्युकलेवरम्
पत्युष्कलेवरम्
Adipya Chanumarane
आदित्याचारुमर्ने
Vilapanti Manodadhe.
विलापन्ति
विलापन्ति
मनोदधे
मनोदधे.
She then prepared a blazing fire with firewood and placed the dead body of her husband upon it. When this was finished, she lamented severely and prepared herself to perish in the fire with her husband. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
हरे कृष्ण.
We read many verses today, but I wanted to bring you to this purport. Look at the intensity of Srila Prabhupada in this purport. It is more or less unimaginable to even speak like that. That one should be ready to leave the body instead of continuing in this world. If he's living, he's just living to execute, just like Prabhupada taking the example of Kunti. Now she is living just to take care of the children which are there. And symbolizing the disciple, if he lives, he should just live to execute the mission of the Acharya. Now this is an extremely pure platform. Very, very pure platform. We know this is exhibited in the life of Srila Prabhupada. We know that how he was left with order from his spiritual master. He left everything to just execute. Took a risk of life to come on a cargo ship. And then he is in difficulty. When he started the mission, he was in great difficulty. His health was almost collapsed. He told disciples, keep the picture of his guru in front of him. And he was praying to his spiritual master, I have not still finished my work. Let me stay for some more time. He told disciples to pray to Narasimhadeva. Our master has not finished the work. And he continued working just to finish the order of his spiritual master. And then when the last stage of his life came, when he has actually established the movement, he stopped eating and left the world. And this is the life of Srila Prabhupada. He just lived to execute the mission of his spiritual master. Now it is very difficult for us to understand this platform. Just like it is said, somebody is not free from sex desire, he should not enter Ras Leela. He should not even think about Ras Leela, because he'll project on Krishna and other devotees his own consciousness. Correct? So he is not qualified to hear pastimes of Krishna in Rasa. So similarly, we are doing activities in this world, it is all full of pride, ahankara, sense enjoyment. Every activity we do is contaminated so intensely by that, we can't even hear such commitments. Because we do everything, there is some pleasure on it. Correct? Dhanam, Janam or Sundarim. We don't do anything in which these three things we don't inquire. Our life becomes more comfortable, we get more worshipped by jana, we get surrounded by opposite sex. Therefore we do activities. We don't do activities for any other purpose. And just imagine if you hear of somebody who is taking a lot of pain, physically or mentally, just to distribute Krishna consciousness, we are not even qualified to understand that. Because we will project the same person on our platform. Oh, he was doing because, he got a lot of followers. He was doing because he got a lot of wealth. We are not qualified till our heart becomes pure. Like Vasudeva Datta, the example, a very intense example from Chaitanya Charitamrita. What happens? When he tells Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, can you take everybody back to Godhead? I cannot see the pain. They are suffering. He says that. We just get wonderstruck. Can somebody feel like that? We can't even imagine. Now Krishna, if you feel that they cannot go back to Godhead because of their sinful activities, I request you that you give their pain to me, all their papa karma, and please take them to the spiritual world. I am ready to suffer for them. We cannot imagine this platform. This platform we are not even qualified or entitled to understand. It's very, very advanced. What we are hearing here, this purport, because this purport I read many long time ago. So I was just searching where it is and I saw with you. This is unimaginable. We cannot even imagine. There are so many purports of Srila Prabhupada, they strike you like Narad Muni when he got darshan of the Lord, and then the darshan, he was very, very happy. So Prabhupada says, what form we are searching, life after life, Narada saw it. These are such, such beautiful purports. So now coming to the various things which are there, let us just meditate before I develop further. I thought I'll develop few classes on separation. Okay? So before that, let us just see the points in the purports are covered up. See, whenever any disciple, basically this is a symbolic story. What kind of story? Symbolic story. This is a wife following the husband is referring to a disciple following the spiritual master. The Puranjana in this life, next life became a woman, but was fortunate to get a husband, Malaya Dhwaja, who was a great devotee. And she started serving him, and by that, her consciousness gradually started evolving, symbolizing us. We are also lost in the metal world under different, like Puranjana, planning different kind of sense enjoyment, and now we are come under the shelter of a pure devotee. So if we execute his will, everything will be wonderful. So that's a symbolism here. In the Vedic time, the men used to be trained well in Gurukul, so when they used to come back home, practically they were the spiritual master for the wife. Because she has not gone to the Gurukul. She learns how to cook, how to clean the house, how to take care of everything. One is taking inside the house, one is taking care outside the house. One is taking care of children's and taking care of the house and taking care, because in the house there are elders also, his parents are there. She is busy in doing that. And the husband is taking care outside the house. That was the division. Both were busy whole day. Okay? That was the system. And in this system, the husband definitely acts as the spiritual master because he is the one who went to Gurukul and he is trained well. And he comes back home, he is the spiritual master. So therefore Prabhupada is taking a symbolism of the spiritual master from this. It's a symbolic story. Now for us, we are very fortunate to come under the shelter of the spiritual master. But as we advance in spiritual life, we feel the purification, we feel the happiness of spiritual life. We also at that situation can actually be able to appreciate the real glories of the spiritual master. The more you become pure, more you can appreciate a pure devotee. Just like unless you become a doctor, you cannot appreciate another doctor. How would you know? I gave you that example. One surgeon used to tell me, that surgeon is very good. I said, why? Hey, you don't know, it's not easy to cut. He does so perfectly. So I could have, because he's a surgeon, he can appreciate. We cannot. So in the Kanishta stage, actually person appreciates only himself. If he thinks about a great man, he has no hero, he has no idols. This is one of the symptoms of a Kanishtadhikari. Kanishtadhikari means no inspiration from anybody. There is only one devotee in the earth, that is him. That is Kanishta, first stage of spiritual life. And it's better than being a non-devotee. He's doing something, he knows his guru, he knows the guru, he knows Krishna, that's it. That is Kanishta. Now when his affection for the spiritual master increases, when his affection for the Lord increases, then things connected to the Lord, he starts appreciating. Ishvara tadidaneshu balisheshu dusheshu cha prema. So that prema is there. Kanishtadhikari also has some love for the Lord and the spiritual master. He only sees two things in life, the Guru and Krishna, and he cannot appreciate anybody else. That's Kanishtadhikari, and we are all in that situation. And next stage will come when we start becoming attached to the spiritual master and Krishna. Then the next word, Prabhupada said, love me, you love my dog. Correct? Next stage we start appreciating, which is next, not first. We have to climb from the first to second. We start feeling friendly feelings towards Krishna's devotee. This is not for neophytes. Neophyte cannot discriminate, should not discriminate. He should not do. It is not for him. He will make a mistake. He'll make a small Kanishtadhikari to, just like a society you see. You see whole India, practically whole India is Kanishtadhikari. You think they don't go to Tirupati, they do go. But then they make a mistake of, any idiot becomes a guru for them. They think he is Paramahamsa. So many Paramahamsa roaming in the roads for them. So that is the condition, because he cannot discriminate, should not discriminate. He just keeps shut. Kanishta generally doesn't preach, just keep shut, that's all. And you have started your spiritual life. And Kanishta start preaching, he'll speak nonsense. Because he has no discrimination. What is great, what is small, he cannot understand anything. But Madhyamadhikari, he actually start feeling affection for the devotees. Ishvara tadineshu tad adineshu. To anybody connected to Supreme Lord, if he starts feeling affection. So this is little advanced. Balisheshu. He start feeling compassion. We don't feel compassion, because he is listening to us, I am getting some boss feeling, therefore I teach. He preaches out of compassion now. Kripa. Kripa is not also for Kanishtadhikari. Kanishtadhikari has no kripa. He has no mercy, he has mercy only on himself. He cannot have mercy on anybody. He only thinks about what is my faida in this. Okay? I am now talking, somebody has come, somebody wants to know about Krishna consciousness. मेरे को क्या फायदा है उससे बात करके? He will only think in that platform. That is Kanishta. At Madhyama, now he start feeling compassion. Very advanced feeling these are. Bahu jana hai aage. And Dvisha, some envious people are there in this world. Kanishtadhikari, if he sees the envious person, he becomes angry. Madhyamadhikari doesn't become angry. He ignores him. Kripa, upeksha. There is no anger in his system, he just ignores. He does his work, just ignores. His word is like that. So, and then we come to Uttamadhikari. And then Uttamadhikari, the relapse, there can be in the different, slowly, Uttamadhikari, the heart will rapture out. And he will start feeling the different ecstasies. And the beginning with Shanta Rasa, he will start feeling. And then he will develop more. He come to Dasa Rasa, feeling of the Lord. Then develop more, he feels Sakya Rasa, Shanta Dasya, Sakya, then Vasalya, and then Madhurya. And in Madhurya, he develops more. The highest ecstasy is separation from the Lord. So, dekho bhai, first we have to come out of Tamoguda, then you have to come to Rajaguda, then you come to Sattvaguda, then enter the spiritual life, start as Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari, then from Uttamadhikari you come to Shantadasa, Sakya, Vasalya, then Madhurya, and highest stage of Madhurya is separation from the Lord. That the gopis are feeling. That is the highest separation. All devotees feel separation, but the greatest, what do you think about separation? What are the examples comes in your heart when you think about separation? Anybody? What are the examples from the Shastra? In Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, what are the separations you can meditate upon?
When Haridas Thakur, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you can give the example of Haridas Thakur.
What are the examples?
When he presumed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji is going to soon disappear from this materialistic world, he first of all showed his this thing. He just told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he should help him in just dying first, then before he could not bear this separation.
Take it. Very good, very good.
Prabhuji, Narad Muni.
Where?
When the Lord disappeared from his vision, Lord appeared for just few seconds. And
So let us meditate on each one of them. So there was first one of you said about Haridas Thakur. He prayed to the Lord that I will not be able to bear your separation. What will not be? I will not be able to bear your separation. Therefore I request you, that please, I can leave the body before. Unimaginable. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, in a very sweet words, he said that, Haridas, how will I, whatever happiness I have, it is because of you. So Haridas Thakur said, don't create an illusion. Very nice words. Don't create an illusion, my Lord. Don't create an illusion. It's not true. There are many devotees who are qualified to sit on my head. What do the world loses when an ant dies? Just imagine. Such an exalted devotee, what is his feeling? How much pride he's having, see? Namacharya, no pride. He's saying, what is the loss to the word and ant dies? There is no loss. Who notices? So similarly, my death is unnoticeable, but I will not be able to separate. Chaitanya Prabhu said, okay, Krishna will fulfill your desire. And then after a few days, Chaitanya Prabhu came with the whole team of Vaishnavas, did big Harinama at his place. And it was the intense Harinama, very, very intense Harinama. And Chaitanya Prabhu started glorifying Haridas Thakur with 5 mouths, and everybody was listening. And then people are wonderstruck, he's so great. Actually, when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, the hero is Haridas Thakur, like Ramayana hero is Hanumanji, here hero is actually Haridas Thakur. Everybody is wonderstruck by his greatness. And then Haridas Thakur takes the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his heart and he keeps speaking Shri Krishna Chaitanya, and leaves the body. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so ecstatic seeing his advanced devotion, he takes his body in his hand and starts dancing in ecstasy. And then he takes his body to the bank of the ocean, and there he bathes the body in the ocean. And then next, he digs a pit with his own hand with the help of other devotees, and he buries him, makes a samadhi. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does, okay? So this is, just imagine, a devotee saying, I cannot bear separation. So just imagine, it is a separation from the Lord, separation from great devotees is unbearable. There is a song which is sung on the day of Viraha. Anybody knows the song? Where Narottam Das Thakur says, yeah. Anybody knows how to sing that song?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Wait. Arey Baba. Wait. Let us hear the song in that. Yes, start.
Shall I, Prabhuji? Shall I, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna.
Sing, Baba.
जे अनिलो प्रेमाधना करुण प्रचुर हेनो प्रभु कोता गेला आचार्य ठाकुर कहाँ मोर स्वरूप रूपा कहाँ सनतान कहाँ दास रघुनाथा पतित पावन कहाँ मोर भट्टा जुगा कहाँ कविराट एका काल कोता गेला घोरनाथराज पाशाने कुटीबो मथा आनाले पशिबो गौरांगा गुणीरानी दी खोता गेला पाबो से सबा संगीरा संगे जे कोई लो बिलास से संगान पाया कांदे नरोत्तम दास हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Read the translation.
Translation. He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy, where has such a personality as Srinivasa Acharya gone? Where are my Swarupa Damodara and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatana? Where is Raghunatha Dasa, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunatha Bhatta and Gopala Bhatta? And where is Krishnadasa Kaviraja? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottama Dasa simply weeps. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So what is happening? So can you, when I used to hear this song, where are we? We have so much hankering for sense enjoyment. We have so much hankering for sense objects. Unless this thing from the heart goes away, the wants we have for spiritual, for sense enjoyment and sense objects. And spiritual life is only for somebody who does not want anything. Tvam akinchana gochara. Yes, what is the shloka? Anybody can tell me? Queen Kunti.
जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुतश्रीभिर् एतमानामदः पुमान् नैवर्हति अपि दातुं वै त्वम् अकिञ्चन गोचर.
Yes, Tvam akinchana gochara. There is one more time he says that. In this Queen Kunti prayers only, who has nothing in this world.
Prabhuji, may I say?
What is the next one?
Namo Buddhaya, Nibrutta Gunabruttaye, Atmaramaya Santaya, Kaivalya Pataye Namaha. Krishna Prabhu.
Very good, okay. So akinchana, he has nothing. So because we have a desire, when you are asleep, I need a nice car, I need a nice house. So we are feeling separation for all these things, We are feeling separation from the big fame I had, I was so much respected, Maybe some accidental. Sometimes like they go to the, what is that? The day you get convocation. There are 1,000 fools clapping for another. One person goes on stage, others simply clap. Anything, they're all worshipping him and he doesn't want to, he keeps aspiring for that. Continuously, world should keep clapping for me, So, we are so difficult to put Krishna in the center and Acharyas in the center and feel intense separation. Now, this is actually, the Srila Prabhupada gave the best example for us. Now, he expresses that in his prayers to the spiritual master. Now, very few people know that when Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, he wrote a lot. What is it? He wrote. And not only he wrote Bhagavatam, which he compiled, he wrote some poem. There is a book called Shower of Divine Compassion. Now, this book is not for neophytes because they may misunderstand. Therefore, Prabhupada has not publicly published this book. He, published whatever he thought was beneficial. But because it is anyway a composition of Srila Prabhupada itself, we can read it. But we can understand that the feelings he is having. He wrote a poem called Viraha Ashtaka. What is that? Viraha Ashtaka, the separation from the spiritual master. Now, should he start it today? It is 8 poems. That's the intense pain the Acharya is having. What do you think? We start today? I have already marked, I have to search today in the morning. Here it is. Can you see this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
There are 8. We'll stop at 9. How much we can go with it. Number 1, and now how do I increase the size? Yes. Okay? That's okay? Is it readable?
Yes, Prabhuji.
These are
Yes, Prabhu.
eight he wrote in separation. Intense, his heart is bursting in separation from his. Srila Prabhupada, we can speak and we think these are all stories, but we had within us a personality who actually gave a role model of a greatest devotee. So the Srila Prabhupada is in everything for us in that way. Now let us see. Viraha Ashtaka. Yes. Anybody Bengali we have? Kuhaka, somebody Bengali is there? Kuha.
Prabhuji, can I try, Prabhuji? Kuhu
Huh?
Mataji is there, I think.
Kuhu Mataji is there? Kuhu Mataji?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
Bengali, sing.
Jivera da Prabhuji, Bengali word होगा तो
Now,
अच्छा है.
I'll have to search. Now you imagine from here only.
There is the pro and there. What is to be done?
Chalo, start.
This is to be read.
No, Kuhu Mataji, start. No, she
Prabhuji,
can read English, no problem.
प्रभुजी बेंगली वर्ड होगा तो अच्छा है प्रभुजी नहीं तो मैं
कल ढूंढ के लाना है अभी जो है रीड करो ठीक है
जीवेरो दरदा दुखी शिला प्रभुपादा विरहोवतारे तवो हरि अवसादा
ठीक है yes Mataji the translation
O Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. O Srila Prabhupada, you personally suffered to see the suffering of the fallen conditioned soul. On this anniversary of your separation, I feel utterly despondent.
You see the qualification of the spiritual master. He feels suffering to the suffering of the fallen conditioned souls. This is the qualification. They feel suffering. The heart is paining, not because I don't have money, I don't have woman, I don't have followers. Our heart is paining because of that. है ना? Krishna कब मिलेगा ये सब? But he is not feeling it. He is actually feeling pain to see the people suffering in the material world. And that is the plan. Such a person actually is the preacher. We are assisting Srila Prabhupada in preaching. We have no compassion for anybody. We are only thinking about ourselves 24 hours. Correct? Humko kya compassion? And so this is the great platform. Next.
I did. Should I do it in Bengali?
Yes, Lalita Mataji, read.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Can I try in that Jayanilo Premadana, the tune, Prabhuji?
No, I don't know this. Which tune this one is?
Jayanilo Premadana. Shall I try in that tune, Prabhuji? That will be better.
Try.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
करुणा सिंधु कराये मोहना नित्यानंदा करेছিল প্রেমা ভান্যা ধন্যা
Chalo. Yes,
the ocean of mercy was previously dammed up, but Lord Nityananda himself cut open a channel, thereby releasing an outpouring flood of pure ecstatic love of God.
Now this is from
Lochana Dasa Thakura's Nitai Gunamani.
Yeah, this is quoting how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally preached, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu generally preached to the big scholars like Sora Bhattacharya, Prakashananda Saraswati, But it was Nityananda Prabhu who took it to the masses. So therefore, this is Lochan Das Thakur is meditating. Okay? But Nityananda Prabhu cut upon the channel and brought mercy of Krishna to everybody. Yeah, then Yes, Mataji, try.
এধারা কেবল ছিল শ্রোতা প্রভৃতা তাদেরও বিধি বাঁধিল মায়া ভ্রাতা পরহিতা
Those devotees to whom the responsibility was given to continue spreading this flood of love somehow became overpowered by Maya and were reduced to simply performing ritualistic Hindu ceremonies for the benefit of materialists.
Now you see, generally all the temples, they are on this platform only. Correct? Some karmakanda rituals for the people, they do that, and that's how the temples are running also. Hai They do not, at all, that's all for their maintenance. There is no meditation, anything more than that. There is not that we have to preach the message of Krishna consciousness, nothing. Show the deities, collect money, eat. Hai And he's saying they overpowered by Maya, and that this happened. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, and very soon this situation came up. Aula, Baula, Gauranga Nagari, all varieties thing came. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu movement, lots of potency, preaching, anything. Then, when the preaching potency is gone, then only meditation is survival. Khana kaise khayenge, bas. Aur kuch nahi bacha. हाँ.
জাতি গোসাই নামে তাদের প্রভাব বাঁধিনা আপনি আসিয়া প্রভু মোহ কহুলা.
Lord Nityananda's inundation of prema was thus obstructed by those known as Jati Gosai or caste Goswamis. But then you personally came, O Master, to open wide the floodgates once again.
So that is Srila Prabhupada's, Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada's father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and later Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada, they broke open that apasampradayas, against pure movement of Chaitanya Prabhu came. And then what will happen? Only in purity, ecstasy of Krishna consciousness will come. So you cut it open again, and the Lord Chaitanya's mercy started flowing everywhere. Then what happened?
প্রেমেরে বন্ধনে আবারে দাওয়ালো সবারে মোহনা দানিয়ে দিনাহীনা পতিতা পামারে.
Again, you engulf everyone in the deluge of pure divine love, even such a low, wretched, fallen, and sinful soul as me.
He said, now again you started delivering everybody. Preaching exploded. Everybody was coming to Krishna consciousness. Even a sinful person like me. Prabhupada is taking a humble role. Yeah, next.
মহাপ্রভু অজানা বলে সবাইকে সবারে গুরু রূপা পাথার জিভেরে দাবারে.
On the strength of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's command, you sent all your servants as spiritual masters from door to door just to deliver the fallen souls.
So that was the order of Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada. By his powerful preaching, he started sending people for spreading Krishna consciousness. Then what happened?
এ সমুদ্রে হিমাচলে সর্বত্র প্রচারে তোমাদের বিচারে আজ সভা আনন্দ করে.
The devotees were preaching everywhere from the oceans to the Himalayas, but now that you are gone from our midst, there is only darkness everywhere.
Okay, so he said when you're there, preaching was happening from every direction, everywhere, left, right, center, from where to where? From the ocean to the top of Himalayas, everybody, preaching was so vigorous, everybody was preaching door to door. But then, my spiritual master, when you're there, again there is darkness everywhere.
জীবেরও দয়ারে দুঃখেরও শিলা প্রভুপাদ ভিড়িয়া ভাষারে তব হরি অবসাদ.
O Srila Prabhupada, you personally suffered to see the suffering of the fallen conditioned souls. On this day of your separation, I am utterly despondent.
So he is feeling intense separation. I do not know. I don't feel any separation. I hope we become chant nicely, get purified, then all these ecstasies will appear. Correct? The heart get purified. Today we can just appreciate. Yes, These people are so sincere, but a long way to go to actually feel. Okay? So we have this, we have so many things to discuss. So next verses are all talking about separation from the spiritual master. So we will keep developing. Any questions? Anybody wants to add something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, here a very good comparison is given between what happens normal in the materialistic life and what happens when you are advancing towards the spiritual life. Like normally the people kill or pass their time when some dear one or near ones passes away in lamenting for them. But here, the disciple, when he's getting separated from the spiritual master, how does he lament? And and Srila Prabhupada has elevated to the highest level. So he has become little harsh by saying that if a disciple, if suppose he thinks that he cannot fulfill or he cannot take the legacy forward of his spiritual master, then he has to also die with the spiritual master. He has very clearly said in the purport. So that can only come from the highest level, which we can see, which Srila Prabhupada was. So this is a good lesson how it should be taken, and how the advanced devotees who are in the advanced stage, how they should be taking up these issues.
Thank you. So nice, beautiful. Yes, anybody else? Any observation? Wonderstrucking, that purport was wonderstruck, no? Muko? Hare Krishna, you want to add something, Muko?
No. Hare Krishna, I don't want to add anything. It was all very good. It was all tried very well. I was also wanting to do a little bit of Bengali pronunciation, but yeah, fine. It was they did it well. So it is a very
Muko has met Prabhupada, you know that? Anna? You met Prabhupada, no? Correct?
Yes. Long ago, when I was a student of class 6.
Chalo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So anyway,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
keep reading.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Pranam Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Sada
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Sada Pranam. Prabhuji. Dandat
Krishna
Pranam. Thank you,
Prabhuji, Sada
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Jiyo,
Krishna.
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Oh, we are on.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Prabhuji,
Krishna
Sada
Krishna,
Pranam.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama.